doing? I see two of you.
Can't see this far.
Well, that's a scary thought. You see two.
I got a gun for each one of you.
So.
Charles, we're not doing the pledge first.
Do what?
Not doing the pledge first,
We're not.
not according to what I've been told, because we have the public hearing.
You don't want to do it before the public hearing.
Pardon me?
I want to do it before the public hearing.
They told me no.
Hold on.
Public hearing isn't the official notice.
You're the chair. You can do whatever you want.
You're the only one to say that.
It's true. Go ahead.
We're not doing the pledge first. Public hearing.
It went away.
You talking to me?
Yeah, we're not, we're going to do the public hearing before the pledge.
Oh, okay.
I was just letting you know. You okay, Frank?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. We are 5:30.
I was trying to help you out.
We're at 5:30. Yep.
The chair is going to call to order a public hearing regarding agenda number 2023-394, an ordinance establishing the South Central Business District 2 and adopting the South Central Business District 2 plan pursuant to notices published in the State Journal Register on August 1st and August 2nd of 2023. Does anyone wish to address the City Council regarding agenda number 2023-394?
Mayor, I'd like to introduce Adam Stroud from PJB Planners, who did our plan for us for the South Central Business District 2, so that he can present at this time, and then we'll have public comment after.
Perfect. Thank you, Director Yezel.
Okay, thank you for the invitation to speak, and thank you for the opportunity to work for the city of Springfield again. PJB's enjoyed a long history with the city, working on different economic development tools pretty much all over the city. And this is in an area that has seen some development, but not nearly as much as what it was originally expected. The original South Central Business District was created during a time of economic downturn, and now we've had COVID as well, so it's just hasn't had the best best time frame for something like this. The project has also evolved over time, and what originally started as mainly retail has now evolved into accommodations, retail, as well as a sports complex. And so because the project is not finished, the city has seen it appropriate to create a new business district overlapping all of the boundary of the current business district, as well as some new areas to the northeast. State of Illinois requires a redevelopment plan to be created, just like all of the TIF plans that have been created. And it requires a finding of blight. Blight doesn't mean that your city is not nice. It just has a very specific definition within the Illinois state statute. And in this case, for a business district, the qualifications that we need to consider this a blighted area are that there aren't streets. I know that sounds a little bit odd, but that is the way the Illinois statute reads. It also says that but for the provision of an adequate street network, this area is underutilized. In other words, it's not performing to its potential as an economic engine and a public revenue generator for the city. And so because of those findings, we believe that this area qualifies for use of a business district. There's ordinances that are on the agenda tonight for first reading to eliminate the current business district tax, as well as create the new one. The way the state rolls with their schedule is if you meet the October 1st deadline, which we will, hopefully, then the tax can start January 1. Terminating follows the same timeline as well. So we're terminating the old district, which would stop at the end of the year, the tax would stop at the end of the year, and then the new business district tax would start at the beginning of the year. That has been vetted by myself, our various legal partners in Illinois, as well as the Department of Revenue. So rest assured that there are many eyes on this development to make sure that this area is no longer underutilized and reaches its full economic potential. Like the mayor said, notices were sent out in the newspaper, as well as an ordinance being passed that stated that this public hearing was going to take place to allow for public comment. And if there are, I'll pause for any questions that anybody has. I'd be very happy to answer them before we get to public comment. I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions.
Do any members of the council have questions? You can sign up.
I got.
Alderman Hanauer.
Yeah, thank you. And the tax will be the same. We're not raising it. All we're doing is we're stopping it at like 11:59 on December 31st, and it's the same. What is it? Extra 1% for that area.
That's correct.
So and then it allows it to go 23 years.
23 years.
23 years.
That's
okay.
right. So 23 years from now, you'll meet either the October 1st or the April 1st deadline, and then 3 months after that, the tax would stop. The way this one works is the transition, from what we know from Department of Revenue, the transition will be seamless. So even though the business district will end, the October, November, December revenue will be received by the city January, February, March of 2024. That's just the way that the collections versus distribution delay operates.
And this will enable this will satisfy the financing with the Shields Legacy development, because I've had a lot of people calling this week asking questions about it, about what's going on with it. So, and I've been kind of telling them we have steps we got to take. So this is just one of a couple steps, and they'll be on their way, right?
That is the goal, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Redpath.
So the tax that's been generated has been held in escrow, is that correct? It's not been released?
The taxes that have been generated to date,
Yes.
they have been used to pay down debt obligations that were issued on various infrastructure expenses that the developer took on, and all subject to a redevelopment agreement that was entered into actually a long time ago between the developer and the city.
I guess I misunderstand, because I thought that those would have to be held until the project was underway. So the tax that we generated earlier has been used already, is that correct?
Right, so when I said that the project really didn't perform like everybody expected it to, for a number of reasons, those infrastructure expenses were incurred by the developer according to the redevelopment agreement, and the money that was coming in to date has been used to reimburse them. But the work is not done yet, right? There's more infrastructure expenses that will be incurred by the developer or intended to be incurred by the developer.
So by holding this meeting, we meet the criteria for the enterprise zone designation through the state, is that?
For the business district.
Business district, okay.
Business district, yeah, absolutely. One public hearing, and then the appropriate ordinances. and notices.
Why are we just now doing this? How come we haven't done this before? I mean, we've been sitting on this for 3 years.
This is just now where the city has gotten together with a consultant as well as the developer and Department of Revenue, by the way, to really figure out how do we allow more time for this project to really see it through. And this, right now, the sequence of events that we've outlined really is the appropriate one that's been approved by Department of Revenue as well as myself and legal counsel.
So again, we're back to, every one of us get phone calls on this every day. I'm not kidding. And we keep saying, well, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But yet we've been spinning our wheels basically for 3 years. And is this the last hurdle we have to go over to get this project moving?
I've been in contact with the developer. They are satisfied with this plan, and so I hope so.
It's
right?
like the guy with the parachutes.
From a legal standpoint, from a legal standpoint and, you know, the statutory requirements, we believe that this is the best course of action. Of course, market conditions might see otherwise, but I think we've done everything.
Yeah, because the upturn in inflation and everything like that, the rates have went through the roof.
Right.
All right, thank you.
I think we've given it the best shot that
All
we
right,
can.
thank you.
Yep.
Alderman Carlson.
Thanks for the explanation. I appreciate the explanation. Geography, so we're moving a little bit, we're expanding this business district. Is this going across MacArthur as well then? Is that correct? And a
That's
little bit
correct,
north,
to the
right?
northeast. Yep. Which
Northeast.
is different developer, you know, the Legacy Point development, that is its own thing. But yeah, the added territory to the northeast was not in the old business district.
In the original?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Alderman Donlin.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thanks for this explanation this evening. Really appreciate it. My understanding is with this project all along, a key component was the revenues, as well as other revenues, but revenues being generated by the business district. And in order to maximize that amount of time and get improvements done in these undeveloped areas that help qualify this new district, we have to close the old one down and create a new one. Is that right?
Right, we need more time.
Okay. And so realistically, this action that we're taking or potentially taking in the next cycle will enable this project to finally get moving along.
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, because the city didn't have a mechanism to just extend the business district.
In my opinion, no. That was not, that's not in the statute.
Okay, so this seems to be the prudent approach, a good use of one of the few economic development tools that downstate municipalities have.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you.
Agreed.
Looking forward to the groundbreaking and the development to be finally completed.
That's right. Me too.
Alderman Gregory.
Thank you. So I guess I'm understanding this, but I'm not. I just think that this one project, I mean, the city has really done everything we can to get it. Now we're going to do another business district and, you know, change some things out. And I understand that, you know, this is needed, I guess, but this was not what we were told by the developer. He actually said that he would be putting a shovel in the dirt like July, and we're still not there. You know, so now here we are again. We're doing another mechanism. We're twisting and turning, trying to help the guy. And fine, this doesn't cost us any money, so to speak, right now, and I'm going to vote for it. But if this doesn't work, we need to be out. We need to be out. If this doesn't work, I mean, gee, thank you. I appreciate
Well,
it.
yeah, the developer is definitely needing these steps to be taken in order to move forward. That's a very good.
I understand.
Yep.
And, you know, and excuse me for interrupting, but, you know, when he first started talking about this particular project, none of those things was mentioned from day one. We came back, we got another supplemental, we added some more money. None of this was mentioned from that point. And so now we're here. So if this doesn't work, I just think that we need to be done and go on to another project and try to, you know, generate income for our city. I'm all about it. I'm an old coach. I think sports tourism is good. But as Alderman Redpath said, the interest rates is all crazy, materials is all crazy, and, you know, banks are scared of things like this. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't work, I'm out. I ain't going to be voting for it no more, so thank you.
Valid points. Thank you.
Alderwoman Notriano.
Chair. So this is the old business district, and the proposed second one is in Ward 6. And so I just wanted to clarify, so this business district would be open to any developer or any investor who wants to come and build something in this area, correct?
That's right.
Okay, so fingers crossed for the sports park, obviously, but if that doesn't go through, we'll still have this land as opportunity for investment. And yeah, I'm really excited about the things that could potentially go there and that probably will go there regardless of what happens with the sports park. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Alderman Williams.
Yes, and thank you. So, and I understand that it's Ward 6. So this new portion, which school district would this impact? Or would it impact any of the school districts?
That's a very good point, Alderman Williams. And this is a sales tax, so to the extent this additional sales tax, it's not going to the school district, but it was also never going to go to the school district. So in my mind, it does not impact them. If it were a TIF district that deals in property taxes, I think that would be a different story. But in this case, I don't see where the impact would be.
Okay, so you're saying there's no impact on 186 whatsoever with this, if we pass this?
Right, you've got additional retail, additional hotel night stays. I don't know if there's any sort of implication that the school districts would use the sports complex. I don't know. I'm not privy to those facts. But from a financial standpoint, I would say that the impact would be positive. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but if additional property taxes are being generated in this area because you've got additional businesses, I would think that the impact would be positive.
For which district, though, Chatham or
Oh,
Springfield?
I'm not sure about that. Do we know? Which district is this in?
If it's north,
Yeah, so it's along Stanford by Junction Circle.
186,
Yeah, so.
more beneficial to
Yeah,
186.
It's coming east.
86.
It's not going west.
So we're saying 186. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know the school district boundaries.
Any other questions by the council? Do you have anything further to add?
No, other than thank you for inviting me, and then I'd like to open it up for public comment, at this time. So, thank you.
So is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment on this?
I have a letter that I'd like to read from
Absolutely.
the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
Mayor Busher and members of the City Council, I'm writing this letter in support of the creation of the business district in the Legacy Point business area. The creation of this district will allow not only for the Shields Sports Park to become a reality, but will also benefit from additional new businesses that choose to locate in this area. The Legacy Point Shields Sports Park will impact Springfield economically in many ways, attracting competitors and their families from all over the Midwest. These visitors will eat at Springfield restaurants, find lodging at Springfield hotels, shop at local businesses, and visit Springfield tourist sites. The excitement this development will bring to our area will allow the Legacy Point development to reach its full potential by filling current farmland with tax-generating businesses, further expanding its economic impact. I ask that the Springfield City Council and the mayor approve this vital piece of the puzzle to get this project over the finish line. Thank you for your consideration of this issue. Mike Murphy, President and CEO, Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Director Yezel. Anyone else have public comment?
Hi, I'm Abby Powell, Director of Business Development with the Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance. I want to thank you all for your support of this project. I know it's been a long road, and this is hopefully the last of many steps that the council will need to take. The Growth Alliance is really excited about the economic impact that this development is going to have on our community. From the city's own feasibility report in 2020, we estimate an additional $25 million in revenue generated annually, which is going to include also an additional 65,000 hotel room nights. We really believe that this is going to have just an enormous impact, not just for people who are going and playing and using these sports facilities, but for the students from District 186 who are able to use those facilities, and then the additional commercial and retail growth that we expect by expanding that boundary and allowing a mechanism to offset those infrastructure costs. So thank you so much for your support for this project.
Any other public comment?
Terry Truman with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I'm the sales manager and also have been the sports specialist for the better part of 11 years. So we are enthusiastically in support of you guys passing this. It's going to be a game changer for our community. I can tell you with the different sports shows that I go to, and I'm actually heading to a couple over the next month, people are already talking about it. I'm already talking about it with them. And, this is going to be something that is really going to add to our community and also bring people here that want to live and have that be part of their family experience. So thanks very much. I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening?
Good evening. Craig Sandoval, Vice President of the Springfield Hotel and Lodging Association. Unfortunately, Darren is not able to be here this evening, so I'm speaking on behalf of the association. We find that the sports park is going to provide a significant economic impact, a positive impact for the Hotel and Lodging Association and all the members that are within Springfield in the amount of room nights that are bringing in annually, which is estimated to be about 65,000. So we do support it, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment this evening? Going once, going twice. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion on the adjournment? All those in favor of adjourning the public hearing say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we're going to, Clerk Lesko gives me the thumbs up, start our city council meeting.
We are ready, Mayor.
You're ready? Okay. So the August 15th, 2023 meeting of the City Council is now called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Lesko, can you please call the roll?
Will do. Alderman Redpath.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford. Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Notariano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Connolly.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mayor Busher, a quorum is present.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to read the Civility Pledge. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. We now will have a presentation to the council, and I would like to ask for Police Chief Scarlett and Sai Joshi from the Planning and Innovation part of our economic development to come up.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Appreciate the opportunity to come and just offer a very few minutes of presentation here. And this presentation wouldn't be possible, and this program wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Sai Joshi, our very own Bloomberg Harvard fellow here with Springfield. So we're grateful for all that she's contributed to this, and she's going to have a few things to say here shortly. So as some of you may remember, back in October of 2022, Springfield unveiled a Community Connections event, and that was a partnership that the Springfield Police Department had with ShotSpotter, and it specifically was a location identified within our community based on ShotSpotter data. We went out into that area, descended upon the area. When I say we, I'm talking all city resources and some local stakeholders, and we made some immediate improvements and some long-term improvements. And it is with new input and brainstorming sessions with current city leadership that I introduced Mayor Busher's new program entitled Build Springfield. Build is an acronym, and I'd like to go through exactly what that stands for. Beautification in our neighborhoods, unity, a sense of unity with residents and their government, innovation, placing innovation at the core of the approach, leadership, leaders collaborating together, and development, focusing on the development of our communities in need. So this is a presentation we've entitled Build Springfield. Build Springfield is a holistic community program that is designed strategically to positively impact Springfield's neighborhoods and its residents through non-traditional innovative approaches with the goal of improving the quality of life of our Springfield residents and promoting a stronger sense of community engagement and involvement. This program is Mayor Busher's and the City of Springfield's proactive approach to focused delivery of resources for Springfield's neighborhood in need, with the sincere hope of working with local governments, Springfield citizens, agencies of our community, and organizations of our community that we can all collaboratively become an important force in improving and maintaining the integrity of our city. So we have three main goals that Saeed's going to go over momentarily, but to briefly touch on them, our goal are cleanup and beautification of a specific neighborhood. We want to provide outreach and education and addressing neighborhood and quality of life concerns. And we want to foster collaboration not only with all of our city resources, but with our local stakeholders in the area.
So on cleanups and beautifications, in the weeks leading up to the event and on the day of the event, the Office of Public Works crew will be trimming trees, assessing sidewalks, performing alley cutbacks, sweeping streets, replacing signages, and performing engineering assessments. The Office of Public Works inspectors will also be present on the day of the event, assessing violations, and will be available to address resident concerns. We're working with contractors currently who would help us mow our city-owned vacant lots within this neighborhood, and would also help us trim trees where required. On our second goal for outreach, education, and addressing concerns, on the day of the event, city staff and outside volunteers will go door to door to all homes within this neighborhood and address queries, concerns, and note down assistance requests for the city and all participating agencies. I'll go over this in a bit detail as we go ahead with the presentation. We will have a staging area within this focus neighborhood. Ideally, it'll be centrally located within the blocks that we have focused on. All city departments, representatives, directors, and staff from this department, the mayor, participating agencies and organizations representatives will have tables in this area. This is a great opportunity for residents to engage and understand their available resources. There will be food, a play area for kids, and on-site health screenings for residents. On fostering collaborations, we're really bringing resources to these neighborhoods. It will bring together city, county, and potentially the state partners in conjunction with health, human service providers, and community groups to really help us reduce blight and reduce crime while providing social services. We're focusing on using an interdepartmental and interagency approach to pool resources and offer focus services in specific neighborhoods of the city. This program is really our effort to implement an innovative public sector service model.
So here's the main question. Where are we going and how do we determine that we're getting there? So we use two separate sources of data, and again, this is all based on qualified data analytics. The first source is through sound thinking data. Now, sound thinking you may not be familiar with. Sound thinking is the new name for ShotSpotter. And we have a couple of representatives with us today from Sound Thinking. To my left here, I'd like to introduce him. We'll start with Paul John. Paul's the Director of Community Engagement. Next, we have Tom Rizzi. Tom is the Director of Customer Success with Sound Thinking. And finally, Alfred Lewers, and Alfred is the Senior Director of Trauma Response and Community Engagement with Sound Thinking. Again, Sound Thinking does a couple different things. One is they help us out with gunfire detection. That's an important part of our job. But one of the other components that they do are these connection events and an opportunity for us to engage with the citizens that we serve, to help build trust and confidence, and quite frankly, to not over-police certain areas of our community. So we're grateful for the representatives being here today and for the program. The second data source that we're using is the Public Works data, and this is comprised of problem properties as well as repetitive code violations and increased fly dumping areas. So those two specific data sources led us to our location. And our location is approximately 55 square blocks, and it comprises parts of wards 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just to go over some of the locations, to the north it's North Grand, to the south is Carpenter, 9th Street to the west, and to the east is kind of divided up with 19th and 15th Street, just outlining the Pillsbury area. Our event that we have scheduled is October 7th at 10 a.m. And I guess, again, this will be an all-day event, and there will be a lot of information forthcoming leading up to this. But really, this is an opportunity for us to get the message out about what's forthcoming.
We're focusing on technology-driven, data-based operations in the weeks leading up to the event, on the day of the event, and after the event. When staff and volunteers go door to door across all homes in this neighborhood,
We will be using City of Springfield's website, specifically our Report a Problem feature, for electronic surveys, intake of complaints, and getting in assistance or concern requests from residents. All of this intake will be registered in CityWorks and immediately routed to our appropriate city department for investigation. We're currently working with our GIS experts within Office of Public Works to create a live dashboard for real-time map updates on service request investigations and completions. Following a service request investigations, supervisors from departments will schedule work orders to be dispatched to the operations staff within City Hall. The core team for this program will track all of these service requests and work order completions via CityWorks and ensure that assistance has been provided. Department staffs will also additionally follow up with residents on assistance or resources provided and further assistance if required. What's going to be great for us as a city is that each event's data will continue to be a part of a publicly accessible dashboard to map the city's one-year-long performance towards facilitating our broader goal on cleaner and safer neighborhoods. This data that will be collected will help city departments take a step further towards becoming more proactive in delivering our services. We will continue to communicate on more details. The staging area location, as I mentioned, ideally will be centrally located in this 55-block neighborhood. We're still finalizing the details and we will communicate that. The full list of participating city departments, agencies, and organizations, again, we're still in process of doing this. We will let out and communicate a full list of the participating organizations. Door hangers will be delivered to neighborhood residents via our neighborhood police officers. Yard signs will be placed in the neighborhood. As I mentioned, the Public Works crew will be working in the weeks leading up to the event and on the day of the event. So the dates when the Public Works crew will be present within these 55 blocks will also be communicated. And finally, department and agency-specific contact information will also be shared. And finally, we're introducing this program with the hope that this remains a sustainable program for Springfield. These are really some of the ideals that we have collectively visioned for Springfield. So this is including but not limited to neighborhood cleanup, public safety, beautification, community building, trust building, data-informed operations for the city, proactive delivery of services, and education and access to resources. And before I conclude the presentation, we're presenting this and introducing this early on, mainly because we want to make sure that we're getting residents, elected officials, local agencies and organizations' feedback. We want to hear from you. This is an opportunity for us to collaborate with each one of you. So please do reach out to us. The team's contact information is on the screen. And thank you for your time this evening.
So Chief and Sai, we do have a couple of aldermen signed up to speak, so I'm going to ask you to stay up here. Alderman Donlin.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation this evening and the heads up of this new program. And I must say that it seems like it will be a well-focused approach to address issues that are definitely present here in Springfield. You said at the NSIE that you said, if we have thoughts and comments, get in touch with you later, and you gave us this wonderful list. I intend on doing that, by the way. So I'm going to cut my questions really just down to one. You mentioned that we have the event, the first event scheduled for October 7th. How many do you have, or are we waiting? How many events do you have planned out presently?
I should back up for just a minute and speak about the historic portion of this program. I mentioned it comes from ShotSpotter / Sound Thinking, but the funding for this program comes from a $3 million budget allocation from Senator Doris Turner, with the hopes of, again, community engagement, gun violence reduction, but also community engagement is a key component. So we have $500,000 set aside for these particular programs. And I gave you all that, I guess, to say that our goal is to have 2 additional programs before the end of June when the budget year comes to a close.
So 3 total.
That's correct.
Okay.
And this does include the one from October of last year, so technically it would be 4.
I'm just going to ask, is Ward 9 included as a part of any of those 3?
Well, I think it's important, again, that we recognize it's about the data, right? That's one thing that we go on based upon the area. And that's how we have determined the first 2 events I think that's how we will ultimately decide where the last two events are. I will say this, I think it's important that the events are spread throughout our entire city. I think that's necessary, but obviously the goal is to provide resources where resources are needed as well. So that's.
Chief, I can appreciate the data-driven, and I said I'd only ask one question, and I've asked two, so I'm going to finish up. So thank you, and thank you for the presentation.
Alderman Gregory.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. I will say last year, this event was held in our poorest community, one of the poorest communities. There's 8 low census tracts in my ward alone. And I was just wondering, I know originally the original intent was to really hit hard the poorest areas of our community. And while, I'm fine with it, moving into some other areas that we need to address, it really diminishes or it takes some focus away, of the intensity that we were really trying to clean up, the area by far that has the most fly dumping, gunshots, and all of those things. I would probably argue that some of these other areas that I'm looking at probably haven't seen a gunshot in a very long time. I know you speak on data and things of that nature. So as we go forward and we plan other events, again, this is some of this money to fund this is from a $3 million grant from Senator Turner that is focused for violence prevention and things of that nature. I know the Harvard Bloomberg that got us this fine young lady who was very, very smart in her, was focused in on, the poorest parts of our community. So as we move forward, and look at other events, I will always ask that we address one of the other events. Because last year, I thought our conversation was that we would move a little southeast, so to speak, to address some other areas that are just as bad as the area that we went into last year. But regardless, so this year, I know last year we spent about, $100,000 on, because it was weekend, or how much did we spend?
It wasn't even that much. I would say closer to $20,000.
Okay. And that was for our staff who
Majority of
have
that was overtime associated with the event.
All right. Are we replicating that same thing? Do we have a amount that we're going to spend this year?
Well, again, if we have $500,000 that can be allocated over 4 events, I mean, we can do the math, divide that equally. Okay. Obviously, the goal is to build upon what we did in October of last year and make things bigger and better, which obviously comes at a cost to the city of Springfield. Unfortunately, the funding mechanism is in place. Yeah.
We talked a little bit last year about the company potentially being a partner within this. Did you have any success with that?
You have to say that one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't.
I know last year we talked about the company ShotSpotter. I know they changed their name, but we talked about them joining in on helping us fund some of this. Was any of that conversation successful?
Well, right now we have a partnership with ShotSpotter. They have provided intelligence not only as it pertains, like I said, to the gunshot data, but also to some additional programs that are centered around more of holistic wellness of our community. I don't know if anyone would like to speak to Mr. Lewis, you want to speak?
I'm basically asking, does your company give back? Because we paying for the gun information that we giving, but do y'all give back and help the communities that's going to perform these things?
Alfred Lewis, Senior Director of Trauma Response and Community Engagement with Sound Thinking. Thank you. Yeah, I will tell you that community engagement is it's important. This is a new role that I just started in March, so we're mapping out our strategy associated with community engagement, and if there are ways for us to be able to partner with our customers, we are definitely looking for that. As the chief shared, one aspect of it is our Data for Good initiative, where we provide consultative services, looking at the whole holistic approach, bringing in information on funding and assistance for grant funding from organizations such as the Bureau of Justice Assistance or the Department of Justice DOJ COPS office, using the ShotSpotter data and our expertise to assist in getting funding for services, paying attention to children who may have adverse childhood experiences, recognizing what the risk factors are and the protective factors, and trying to minimize or eliminate the risk factors and to build upon and strengthen the protective factor. So for right now, that's what we're assisting with. If there are other ways that we can help in the near future, we would be happy to examine those opportunities.
Well, what I would like to see in the future, because hopefully we keep ShopSpotter around, or the new name that you guys have around for a very, very long time. Hopefully one day we never need it, right? That gunshots are not.
Best case scenario, we put ourselves out of business.
Absolutely, and that's the goal. But I think it will be good for many of the communities that you work at, and because right now we have a $3 million grant, right? So we got some money to do this. But one day that won't be there, and then we will, be bumping our heads trying to figure out how we keep this thing rolling and keep bouncing around our city and trying to keep this rolling. And I think that, for a community like ours, I don't know what your contract is, but I know it's hefty. That's a good program, and that's a good look for you guys to consider up the ladder.
I agree wholeheartedly. Giving back to the communities that we serve and take out of is important.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Spoken much more eloquently than I could have. I will speak one thing as to the sustainability. That's the whole point, right? That we identify areas, and we not only go in and address the areas on that date, but the program is sustained over the upcoming years, and that is our goal moving forward with all of these projects. So,
one last follow-up question, if I may, Mayor.
Sure.
Are we going to do the Ring Doorbell program again and try to get some of those out in these areas?
there are, yes,
right.
several dozen Ring doorbells ready to go out and be installed. I just want to touch on one thing, reference to the Sound Thinking Company too. Talk about giving back. Springfield is a model city for what we've developed and what we're doing for this particular event. They did a video of what happened in Springfield last year. That video was used to really promote this sort of community engagement to other cities. There are leaders from other major cities coming to this particular event to want to see how Springfield conducts itself with community engagement. So we should be proud of the work that we're doing as a city and the partnership and collaboration that we do have with Sound Thinking.
Thank you.
Any other council members have comments? I just want to personally thank Sae for all of her leadership on this. She has put a lot of work into this, and she has other duties as well. So just thank you, and thank you, Chief Scarlett, for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-025 for the property located at 3740 West Wabash Avenue. The petitioners are Link Media Midwest LLC. The present zoning classification is B1 Highway Business Service District, Section 155.033. The requested zoning relief is a conditional permitted use pursuant to Section 155.341B and C, height and size regulations for off-premises signs, and a variance of Sections 155.001, definitions, lot 155.340, C, E, H, I, and J, general provisions for off-premises advertising signs, 155.321A, non-illuminated signs, 155.322B, illuminated signs, 155.341 and 155.341A, height and size regulations for off-premises signs, 155.320A and B, permitted accessory on-premises signs, and 155.480, landscape screening and lighting regulations of the City of Springfield zoning ordinance. A billboard is currently situated on subject real estate. The billboard contains 4 faces, 2 back-to-back stacked faces that each measure 12 foot 3 inches high and 24 foot 6 inches wide. The existing billboard is a legal non-conforming use. Petitioner desires to allow the existing off-premises advertising sign, i.e. billboard, located on the real estate to be modified, adjusted, and equipped with electronic digital display faces. If relief is granted for 2 back-to-back electronic digital displays, petitioner will remove 2 of the sign faces on the current billboard, leaving only the 2 back-to-back electronic digital displays. The electronic digital display faces that petitioner intends to install will be 10 foot 6 inches high and 36 foot wide, totaling 378 square feet of signage for each electronic digital display. The electronic digital display face will display different messages on a set of 8 to 10 second cycles. Messages displayed will be static images that do not include moving, scrolling, blinking, flashing, or animated graphics. The electronic digital display face will utilize technology that limits the brightness of the display at night. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff recommendation is approval of the requested conditional permitted use, provided that, 1, the height, dimensions, and sign area of the proposed sign faces, limited to no more than 2 faces total, shall not exceed 35 feet in height and 10.5 feet tall by 36 feet wide, with an area not to exceed 378 square feet. 2, the electronic display faces will display messages that do not change more frequently than the set 8 to 10 second cycle mentioned in paragraph number 8 of the petition. 3, messages displayed shall be static images that do not include moving, scrolling, blinking, flashing, or animated graphics. And 4, 2 billboard faces shall be removed from the current double-stacked sign as described in paragraph number 7 of the petition before beginning operation of the new digital signs, and approval of the variances is submitted. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is accept the recommendation of the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff. The chair will now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I missed that. Could you read that again?
Sure.
I make a motion that we accept staff recommendations.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Okay, all those in the favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. And the motion carries with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-026 for the property located at 901 Clock Tower Drive. The petitioners are Link Media Midwest LLC. The present zoning classification is S2 Community Shopping and Office District, Section 155.031. The requested zoning relief is reclassification of property from S2 Community Shopping and Office District, Section 155.031 to B1 Highway Business Service District, Section 155.033, and a conditional permitted use pursuant to Section 155.341 B and C, height and size regulations for off-premises signs, and a variation of Sections 155.001, definitions lot 155.340, B, C, D, E, H, I, and J, general provisions for off-premises advertising signs, 155.321, non-illuminated signs, 155.322, illuminated signs, 155.341 and 155.341A, height and size regulations for off-premises signs, 155.320A and B, permitted accessory on-premise signs, and 155.480, landscape screening and lighting regulations of the City of Springfield zoning ordinance. A billboard is currently situated on subject real estate. The billboard consists of 4 sign faces consisting of 2 side-by-side and back-to-back parallel sign faces that each measure 12 foot 3 inches high and 24 foot 6 inches wide. The billboard is illuminated by traditional lamps located along the bottom of the sign faces. The existing billboard is a legal non-conforming use. Petitioner desires to allow the existing off-premises advertising sign, i.e. billboard, located on the real estate to be modified, adjusted, and equipped with electronic digital display faces. If relief is granted for 2 back-to-back electronic digital displays, petitioner will remove 2 of the sign faces on the current billboard, leaving only the 2 back-to-back electronic digital displays. The electronic digital display faces that petitioner intends to install will be 10 foot 6 inches high and 36 foot wide, totaling 378 square feet of signage for each electronic digital display. The electronic digital display face will display different messages on a set of 8 to 10 second cycles. Messages displayed will be static images that do not include moving, scrolling, blinking, flashing, or animated graphics. The electronic digital display face will utilize technology that limits the brightness of the display at night. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff recommendation is denial as submitted. Approval of the alternative relief suggested in the petition with the following conditions. The height, dimensions, and sign area of the proposed sign faces limited to no more than 2 digital faces total, non-stacked, shall not exceed 40 feet in height and 10.5 feet tall by 36 feet, with an area not to exceed 378 square feet. 2, that the electronic display faces will display messages that do not change more frequently than the 8 to 10 second cycle mentioned in paragraph number 8 of the petition. 3, messages displayed shall be static images that do not include moving, scrolling, blinking, flashing, or animated graphics. And 4, 2 billboard faces shall be removed from the current sign as described in paragraph number 7 of the petition before beginning operation of the new digital signs. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is accept the recommendation of the Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff and include the requirement that the sign have the approval of the city zoning administrator. Chair will now entertain a motion.
Thank you, Chair. I move that we accept the staff recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this?
I got a question.
Alderman Hanauer.
Yeah, we've got two sign ordinances here that it seems like we've negotiated or we've set it to basically say the same thing. Why don't we get those in our rules so that's the digital sign, kind of the digital sign standard for, is that something we should do that you think would help, Matt, or?
It's something we can certainly discuss.
I think it would be worthwhile because, I mean, I don't think that what we've talked about here is, you know, anything outlandish at all. And it seems like other people seem to, the sign people seem to agree with it. And this way, that could be our standard. It may save the mayor from having to read a lot of this stuff. And, you know, so just a thought.
Alderwoman Conley.
Thank you. Alderman Hanauer said part of what I was going to say, although I personally found the reading very soothing after a long day of driving.
I've been told I should read books on CD or three.
Really should. I just want to really quickly clarify, because I did have a brief conversation with Matt about this, that the lighting, the brightness of these billboards can be controlled. They can be reduced. I know while I didn't get any direct comments and concerns about this billboard, it is, you know, across veterans from an area that is more residential, that, you know, with people living there. So I just want to be clear, and I don't know if the petitioner wants to answer that, or if Matt can reply just on the record, that the brightness of this can be controlled, and it's not a one and done kind of a situation.
Thank you, Alderwoman. I appreciate the opportunity. Daniel Hamilton from Brown, Hay and Stevens on behalf of the petitioner, Link Media Midwest. That is correct. The brightness of the signs can be controlled remotely from the main center where the signs are controlled from. In addition, the brightness overall of these signs is significantly reduced from the floodlights, the traditional floodlights that are used to light up traditional billboards.
Thank you. And again, I will ask this again because I've asked this of everyone who's done an electronic billboard in Ward 8. We do have a precedent set where sort of the PSA messages can be included at no cost to the city or to, you know, some not-for-profits who request your company is, and I apologize, I meant to get back to you about this and not jump you tonight with that question, but is that still agreeable, that PSA concept?
That's correct, Alderwoman. The
Thank you
petitioner
very
is willing to provide open slots to the city and other not-for-profits that have a need for outdoor advertising.
Thank you very much. And again, I apologize for I meant to email you that the other day and I forgot to.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on this item? Okay. We have a motion and a second to accept staff recommendation. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. The voting is now open, and the motion carries with 10 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is docket number 2023-027 for the property located at 2000 Peoria Road and 2010 Peoria Road. The petitioner is TL Holdings Group LLC. Present zoning classification is I-1 Light Industrial District, Section 155.040. The requested zoning relief is reclassification of property from I-1 to S2 and variance of sections 155.091A and 155.095K to reduce the required number of accessory off-street parking spaces for the property from 64 required off-street parking spaces to 33 off-street parking spaces. 155.112 regarding surface provisions to allow for non-paved gravel parked areas for the property's open off-street parking and vehicle storage areas instead of the solid dust-free surface per code 155.062C, I, and 155.114B to allow for accessory off-street parking spaces located in a required front yard setback, and 155.480I to reduce the transitional buffer yard depth requirement from 10 feet to 0 feet along the east property line of the property. Springfield Sangamon County Regional Planning staff recommendation is approval of the requested rezoning to S2 and of the requested variances to section 155.091A, 155.095K, 155.062C, 155.114B and 155.480I, provided the layout is substantially similar to the site plan submitted with the petition as Exhibit A and dated May 15th, 2023. Approval of the requested variance to Section 155.112 for a period not to exceed 2 years. Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation is to accept the recommendation of the Springfield-Sangamon County Regional Planning staff. The chair will now entertain a motion.
Yeah. I make a motion to accept the staff recommendations.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to accept staff recommendation. Any discussion on this item? Okay. And the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. Those opposed, please vote no. And the motion carries 10 voting yes, none voting no. Thank you. Give 1 minute here. The chair is now going to recognize Eric Ketchum from the Treasurer's Office for presentation of the financial report.
Thank you, Mayor Busher. Treasurer's report for the corporate fund for the month of July. Beginning balance, $68,559,818. We took in total receipts of $12,584,593. We had total disbursements in the month of July totaling $9,314,271, which left the corporate fund ending balance in the month of July at $71,830,140. The ending general fund balance includes $19,473,945, which is the July ending balance for ARPA money. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair will now entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the financial report? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Ketchum. The chair will now recognize OBM Director Metzger for presentation of the OBM contract report. Any questions on that from anyone? Alderman Gregory.
I do have a question. I don't have it in front of me, but I did notice that we put out some information for $35,000 for the, and I'm gonna say this name wrong, but for the gas station on 9th Street to resurface the parking lot. I noticed that hasn't been done at this point in time, and I wanted to have a conversation about, why are we doing that on a non-city property? And I get that it's Route 66, but it's a gas station that's not open.
Probably Director Dahl would be best to speak at length on it, but it was, it was a Route 66 grant that we accepted that was 100% funded. Part of it was for repaving and a restoration of the parking lot area, but the owners of that area, the owners of the property do have to do some things before the paving would take place, so.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion on the OBM contract report? Okay. Thank you, Director Metzger. The chair will now entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the July 25th, 2023 special city council meeting and approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion carries. Chair will now entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the August 2nd, 2023 regular city council meeting and approve the minutes. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion there? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The chair will now entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council first reading of ordinances into the record of this council meeting.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion there? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading of the consent agenda into the record of this council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion with the consent agenda? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion carries. Chair will now entertain a motion to place the consent agenda on final passage.
So moved.
Second.
A first and a second. Any discussion there? The voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. And the motion carries with 9 voting yes and 1 voting no. Agenda numbers 2023-086, 2023-173, 2023-201, 2023-202, 2023-203, and 2023-322 remain tabled or in committee. Is there any action on those? Okay,
Mayor,
Alderman Hanauer.
on the debate agenda, I'd like to call for an omnibus vote on 2023-356 to 2023-360.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second for an omnibus vote on agenda numbers 2023-356 through 2023-360. Is there any discussion on those? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to have an omnibus vote, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. So the omnibus vote is 2023-356, an ordinance appointing Gregory Talley to the Deferred Compensation Committee. 2023-357, an ordinance approving the reappointment of Mary Muscianti to the Lincoln Library Board of Trustees. 2023-358, an ordinance approving the appointment of Ann M. Mars to the Lincoln Library Board of Trustees. 2023-359, an ordinance approving the appointment of Bradley R. Mills to the Springfield Planning and Zoning Commission. And 2023-360, an ordinance appointing Randy Aldridge to the Springfield Economic and Community Development Commission. Chair will entertain a motion to place agenda numbers 2023-356 through 2023-360 on final passage.
So moved. Second.
We have a first and a second, and it looks like for discussion, we have Alderwoman Conley signed up.
Mayor, we had discussed adding me as a co-sponsor to 358, please.
Yes, so clerk, please note that 2023-358, Alderwoman Conley would like to be a co-sponsor.
Noted, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion?
Yes,
Alderman Hanauer.
we should have Mr. Mills come up and address the committee.
Mr. Mills, would you like to come up and speak to the council?
You got 2 minutes.
I was going to come up for the board and say, I had a big rundown to give, but good evening, Mayor, council members, professional staff. I appreciate your vote of confidence, and I'm happy to be back and excited to join the Planning and Zoning Commission once again. So we'll do our best to always be fair, like always, and always treat everybody with respect and professionalism. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Any other discussion from the council on those agenda items? Okay, then all those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. The voting is now open. And the motion passes. I didn't know if your alderman was going to vote for you, Brad. The motion carries with 10 voting yes, none voting no.
Yeah, I'd like to say that was on purpose.
Put somebody on Ward 4 on there and look what happens. The next item on the agenda is 2023-374, an ordinance authorizing an increase in the number of Class D liquor licenses by 1 for Sapori Entertainment Group Incorporated, doing business as Sapori Pizzeria of Springfield, located at 1941 West Isles Avenue, for emergency passage. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2023-374 on emergency passage.
So passed, so moved.
Second.
The first and a second, any discussion on this emergency passage ordinance? Okay, then the voting will now be open. Please vote yes if you're in favor and vote no if you are not. And the motion passes with 11 voting yes, none voting no. The next item on the agenda is item number 2023-375, an ordinance authorizing a decrease in the number of Class E liquor licenses by 1 due to the closure of Lake Point Grill Incorporated, doing business as Lake Point Grill, located at 1941 West Isles Avenue. Chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2023-375 on emergency passage. We have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Any discussion on this item? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no. The voting is now open.
I'm good.
You're a yes, Alderman Gregory?
Yes.
So the motion passes with 11 voting yes, none voting no. Is there any unfinished business to come before the council?
Yes, Mayor.
Alderman Redpath.
I see today that President Biden passed designations for disaster for the city of Springfield and Central Illinois. So we would like to get that information out to people in the community that need help with assistance on rebuilding their homes or any damage that they might have. Is our economic development people, will you be in charge of that, or? No, I think that's it's important that because there are people that need some help repairing their homes and businesses and stuff, and that money, that's federal money that's free.
And we've definitely been making outreach with help from the Springfield Chamber. I want to give them a shout out as well to businesses and homeowners as well.
Thank you.
And I know Pranima Brahma in my office has been calling people for the last 2 days, letting them know about it, so. Alderwoman Conley.
Can I just, I'm sorry, I didn't see that news. What kind of declaration did we get?
It wasn't given to me, so I can't answer that. Alderman Redpath?
I didn't hear what you said.
What kind of declaration was it? Was it public assistance or individual
Disaster
assistance?
declaration. Governor Pritzker channeled it up to the president, and he approved it.
Okay. I'll look at it up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any additional unfinished business to come before the council? Okay, now we're on to new business. Is there any new business to come before the council? I would like to say 2 things for new business. Our Community Relations Director, Ethan Posey, is a new father.
Oh.
So I just want to congratulate, he's not here, but we just want to congratulate Ethan on his birth of his daughter. And then the second item I would like to bring up is tomorrow on August 16th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., the Boys and Girls Club of Central Illinois is doing a Back to the Club special free event. So there's going to be school physicals, dental exams, food giveaways, haircuts, all get to back to school, backpacks with supplies, hot dogs, and ice cream. So if any of the council members would like to stop by and support that, that would be great. So, any other new business? Okay, do we have anyone advanced who signed up to speak to the council? Clerk Lesko.
Alice Ramey.
She
Just ran up.
Anyone else?
Deborah Roper.
We can come back to Alice if she comes back in.
Alice left her purse there. She's not going.
I thank you for letting me come up. What I wanted to talk to you about is in our community in the last 3 weeks, our power has gone off 4 times. And it goes off and it comes back on real quick. But that is difficult on all the appliances and everything else. And why is our power going off so often?
I would have to direct that question to our chief utility engineer if he is still here.
Did you report it to the utility, ma'am?
We'll look into it.
Okay. Can you, ma'am?
Did, and what they told me was they have a automatic reset that puts it back on real quick. But I mean, it goes off like this, it comes back on like that, and your TV and things like that aren't given the time to reset, even if you have them on a surge protector. And so it kind of concerns me at the way it's affecting things.
Ms. Roper, if you can look to your right, I'll have Doug raise his hand. If you'll give him your address, he'll look into that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I see that Ms. Ramey has not entered again. Do we have a motion to, do we want to ask her if she wants to come in before we adjourn? Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to address the council?
Feels like she doesn't.
Okay, so it's Alice or we go home.
She passed. Motion
We're
to
done?
adjourn.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.